What's up, my YouTube family? Sergeant Graybeard back with another Division 2 video. Today is Wednesday, June 23rd, and as always, I hope this message finds you healthy and safe. In today's video, my friends, I'm going to be showing you one of my favorite solo legendary builds to run in this game. It is a ton of fun to use, and as you can see by the footage, you're pretty much a bullet sponge with this thing. Now, if you happen to be new to the channel, first of all, welcome. Secondly, feel free to hit that subscribe button. We would love for you to be a part of our gaming family. And if you enjoyed this or found it helpful at all, take a quick second and hit that like button. It really does help us out. So as I mentioned at the beginning of pretty much every build video I put together, I just want to remind you this is just a template. This is one of many ways you can put a build like this together, and the most important thing is really catering a build towards your game style. As always, I'm starting off with a little game footage, then we'll get to the build itself, and then at the end of the video we'll do a little more game footage as well, and at that point I also want to pass along a few tips to help new and returning players. So you can see here I'm in the summit, legendary difficulty, facing 2 rogue agents, not having an issue with them whatsoever, and one thing I want to point out really quick, and you'll see it in a second, is that this build is far from perfect, but one thing I like to show you at this channel is even without a perfect build, you can still get the job done. So starting off with the specialization for this build, I'm using Technician for a bunch of different reasons. First of all, you're going to gain that extra skill tier, but this specialization also gives you a 12% damage bonus to drones, skill proxies, and robotics. Now, another important factor with this specialization is that it also gives you the ability to use the Artificer Hive, which has a big part in this build. However, one important tip I like to pass along is, regardless of what specialization you choose, make sure you have the proper weapon equipped in your weapons tree. That way you also get that weapon damage bonus as well. Now moving on to the build itself, my friends. So when it comes to the weapons for this build, I have a rifle equipped in case I'm in a group and I want to do a little damage from far away. This build is not really designed for that. I also have a shotgun in case some NPC get too close, but my primary weapon is my handgun, which is the Liberty pistol. Now, if you don't have that weapon, that's fine. I recommend another handgun like the D50 with a talent close and personal. And as always, if any of you have any tips or tricks to pass along to new players or weapons you'd like to use with this build, please let us know in the comment section down below. Now you can see here what makes the Liberty pistol so effective is its talent, Liberty or Death. Hits grant 2% weapon damage, stacks up to 30 times, and headshots consume all stacks, repairing your shield for 3% per stack. Moving on to the gear itself, you can see I'm running 4-piece of Foundry, 1 Douglas and Harding, and 1 Walker and Harris. Now there are many different variations of this build you can put together, and as we're going through it, I will pass along a few of those options. Starting off with the mask, it's the first piece of Foundry that we have equipped, and we're using 4 pieces so we get all of the gear set bonuses. And you can see here, a 2-piece bonus gives you 10% total armor, a 3-piece bonus gives you 1% armor regen and 50% shield health, and the 4 pieces makeshift repairs, where whenever you or your shield take damage, 20% of that amount is repaired to both over 15 seconds. Now moving on to the body armor, it's the 1 piece of Douglas and Harding that I have, so we get that 20% pistol damage bonus. And you can see by this roll, this thing is far from perfect. Like, I just haven't had the best luck finding a chest piece like this, but again, even with items that aren't perfect, you can still get the job done. Now for the talent on this chest piece, I've chosen Intimidate, which gives you a 35% weapon damage bonus to enemies within 10 meters when you have bonus armor. And the best thing is, because of the talent on the backpack, you pretty much always have bonus armor with this thing. And one thing I want to mention really quick as we go over the 3 remaining pieces of Foundry is in pretty much all of these gear pieces, I'm trying to stack, armor regen, and for my mods, I'm using protection against elites because with Legendary, they really come in handy. Finally, my friends, moving on to the backpack, this is a piece where you have so many different options. I'm running with the named backpack, the Matador, which is Walker and Harris, but you can use the, Memento, you can use a piece of Bellstone. Again, it is totally up to you. You saw the footage earlier, and right now with the build that you saw me use in that footage, I'm sitting at about 1.4 million armor. Now, I have variations of this thing where you can jump it up to 1.8, 2 million armor, but again, I wanted a little more weapon damage with this thing, and so I've put this together to give you an idea of what you can actually run with. However, like I mentioned earlier, if you want a little more armor, you can do something like Bellstone that will give you not only that 1% armor regen, but because you're using the Bulwark shield, it will also give you an extra skill tier, which will obviously help the health of your shield as well. Keep in mind you also have the option of the Memento backpack, which is still, in my opinion, the best bag in the game, and the best part is, as I've said in previous videos recently, it is a guaranteed drop at level 90 in the current seasonal replay. As far as the skills go, I'm using the Bulwark Shield and the Artificer Hive, and with that combination, honestly, my friends, it pretty much makes you a one-man army. Now, as we wrap this video up, there are a few things I want to pass along to new and returning players, which should hopefully help you when you're creating your build. One of the first things I recommend is this. If you're trying to start Legendary difficulty, let's say for the first time, I recommend putting a build together, running it on Heroic with a bunch of directives, and just getting an idea for how the build itself handles. That way, when you hit Legendary, you have a much better chance of surviving. The other thing I'd like to mention is that if you've done the raids and you have the Foundry chest piece or backpack, those are amazing pieces of gear. So like I mentioned before, there are so many different ways to run this thing. If you happen to have those items, I would definitely consider putting those in as well. Most of you know by now that one of my favorite aspects in putting these build videos together is the interaction we have at this channel. So as always, my friends, if you have any tips or tricks you want to pass along to other players, please let me know in the comment section down below. On that note, I'm going to let the rest of the video play out. However, as always, I want to take a moment and thank you all for your continued support and remind you, if you happen to be new here, feel free to hit that subscribe button. If you enjoyed this, you could hit that like button as well, but most importantly, take care of yourselves, be kind to each other, and we will talk to you soon. Thanks again, everyone.
So